session as we talk about what is a budget. I got this question, I received it, and I guess I assumed that everyone probably knew what a budget was, at least heard of it, even if you're not adhering to a budget. So today's session, really quickly for a couple minutes, is just taking it back to the basics. And one of the basics is having a budget. So, what is a budget? In my definition, my form, a budget is a financial roadmap. And what I mean by that, it is a financial roadmap that kind of navigates and shows you where you should go financially in life. So if you think about it, when you jump in your car, if you're lost, what do? You pull up your navigation system so that you'll know exactly where to go. That's the same thing that a budget does. It tells you where to go, if you should stay. So let's say you're at a job and you're deciding, or you're trying to make a decision that you want to leave that job. Guess what? That financial roadmap, that budget will tell you if you should make that next step along with faith. Let's say that you want to, I don't know, take a new job as well. Maybe you're considering a position where your financial roadmap, your budget will tell you as well what you should do, whether you need that additional income or whether you don't need that additional income. Because most times when people are looking for a job, honestly, I know they're looking at how much does this job pay. And what tends to happen is, if you're making a decision just based on that, what tends to happen is that people get a job and then they end up months later or weeks later, or sometimes days later, saying, what kind of decision did I make? They are unhappy only because they never used their roadmap, because maybe that budget would have told them, well, you don't need additional income, you just need to adjust your expenses. So maybe that current situation you were in was enough. It's just that it was a problem with how you were managing the money that you had. So what am I saying here? I'm saying, just generally speaking, that a budget is a financial roadmap. This is why I encourage everyone to have a budget. And budgets are unique. There's another point about budgets. They're very unique. They're unique to you. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's financial goals and dreams are different. So the great thing about it is tailored towards you. So you should know, it should give you the confidence that it's working well. Now you can look and see how people set up their budgets and maybe their templates and how they use it. Do they use the app? Do they use Excel like myself? What do they actually use to track it? That's fine. However, their income and their expenses are going to be completely different than you. So you cannot go 100% by their budget. So budgets are unique. And also, what a budget does is what I mentioned earlier. It will tell you the next step. So when you are creating a budget, it's just very simple. And I often compare it to corporations. Corporations, they have their income statements. Some call it P&L statements. So what happens there is it shows their revenues minus their expenses, which equals their profit, their net profit, generally speaking. So that's what a budget is. It is your income minus your expenses, and it tells you your profit or your loss. Now let's deal with the loss. If it tells you that you're at a loss, then immediately you got to figure out what's the problem. Is the problem that you need more revenue, you need more income, or is the problem that you need to adjust your expenses, or is it both? You really have to examine that, because at the end of the month, the problem that most people are having, this is why statistics are saying 60% of the people in America are living paycheck to paycheck. This is why they're saying that a lot of the high income earners are living what? Paycheck to paycheck. Only because what's happening is that they have the income, especially high income earners, they have the income, but their expenses are out of control, which tells me that most of them, if they have a budget, they are definitely not adhering to it. They have definitely bought into lifestyle creep. And when you have bought into that, all your expenses most times will always exceed your income, because you're trying to live a life based on the number, that gross number that you receive, versus what you have, that net amount that you have truly every month once you take your income minus your expenses. So what it does in that case, if you have a net loss, it is time to make a decision. It is time to work that budget and figure out what the problem is. I can't tell you if you need to cut the lattes. Maybe you still need the lattes. Maybe the lattes bring you joy. I am an advocate. I am for joy, if that brings you joy. However, I am against things that put you in a situation where you don't have any joy, you don't have any peace, and you are struggling financially. So maybe it's not that expense, maybe it's another expense that you need to cut. Maybe there is another job opportunity you need to pursue. Maybe you need to do something in addition to your current way of earning income. However, that budget slash financial roadmap will tell you the next decision. Now, if you do have a profit, let's say once you take your income minus your expenses, and yay, you have a profit, that is absolutely beautiful. Now, what do you have to do? You have to assign that profit. Well, first of all, you have to evaluate, and I'll back up. Rather, you have to back up and say, okay, I do have a profit, but could I have a bigger profit? So is there opportunity to grow your income? Is there opportunity to reduce your expenses? Look at that, because even though you have a profit, you always want to get the max profit when it comes to your financial roadmap. Why? Because the more money that you net, the more you have to do what? Save. You have to get out of debt. You have to pursue your financial goals and dreams. So I challenge you, make sure that if you do have a profit, evaluate, can that profit be bigger? And if it can, max it out. And now you have extra money to say, if you do have debt, get out of debt. I challenge you to do that. That's what a budget will tell you. It will tell you if you need to get out of debt, when you need to get out of debt, which is always ASAP. And it will tell you how that you need to save money. And that's what a profit will do. So again, just to wrap it up, simplified, a budget is just a financial roadmap. It's just your income minus expenses, tells you whether you're at a loss or whether you're at a gain, and what your next step should be. I just truly believe everyone should have a budget. Now, there's some people that don't need a budget. Those are probably not the people listening to this session. But for most people, based on the statistics, the 60% of the people that are living paycheck to paycheck, that are really debt is out of control, are not in position to live life freely, then you do have to adhere to a budget. So I challenge you, create your budget. Create it, make it unique to you, and most importantly, adhere to it so that your life can change financially. Thank you for tuning in. Have a beautiful day. Hasta luego.